A loved one's call to 911 in Ogle County leads to a shootout with 3 deputies and a suspect recovering from gunshots in a local hospital. The critical incident played out in Lost Nation, a town of fewer than 1,000 in southern Ogle County. WIFR's Nathaniel Langley got to the scene early this afternoon and shares the latest live now on the investigation.
Mike, Ogle County Sheriff Brian Van Vickle says today's shootout started this morning in a quiet, secluded, gated community in Lost Nation. Residents describe seeing law enforcement rush in all day. The scene started this morning when authorities first heard of a 911 call coming from a Dixon resident saying they heard a family member threaten homicide and suicide to their family around 9 a.m. SWAT team and hostage negotiators soon arrived to the Ogle County scene. More than 50 calls into the home went unanswered, forcing authorities to enter. Once inside, law enforcement claimed they met immediate gunfire. That shootout ended with 3 deputies and the suspect hospitalized. At this point, all are stable in a local hospital. And those who call this community home, they can imagine seeing a scene like today.
When I got home, I just prayed for everybody. And you know, you don't expect to have this happen just all of a sudden out of the blue. And we've always thought this is the safest place. And now we don't know.
It's a lot quieter now, but those across this community, they're not going to forget this frightening day. And as you can see, things are still tense here. But live from Ogle County, Nathaniel Langley, WIFR News.
New Jersey, an early morning shootout left 2 police officers hurt and a suspect dead. This happened at a hotel and a banquet hall in Woodbridge. News 4's Adam Harding live there with some new information. This investigation, Adam.
Yeah, Natalie, this happened at around 12:30 this morning, and I want to set the scene for you where we are in the Ford section of Woodbridge. This is a mostly industrial area, save for a few homes and this hotel and banquet hall behind us. It was a license plate reader that caught a car that police in New York had been searching for in connection with a homicide investigation that brought police to this area, and that is when they came under fire. Responding officers came under fire just after midnight near this Woodbridge hotel and banquet hall. A police source tonight confirming to News 4 an NYPD officer was shot in the foot. We're told a Woodbridge officer was shot in the back. Both are expected to survive.
While I am extraordinarily grateful for the swift and brave actions by all who responded, this is also a painful reminder that police officers and our law enforcement officers face tremendous risks every single day.
New Jersey's Attorney General says officers were called out to the scene on King George's Post Road after a license plate reader got a hit on a car police in New York had been searching for in connection with a homicide.
The vehicle was registered to a person of interest in a homicide case being investigated by the New York Police Department. NYPD personnel responded to the New Jersey location and partnered with officers from the Woodbridge Police Department to further investigate and locate the person of interest.
Officers from multiple agencies responding overnight. A police source says the suspect came out and began shooting. Police returned fire, killing the suspect, who so far has not been identified.
If they would have been blasting sirens, trust me, I would have heard them. But I heard absolutely nothing. That's all I saw was all the police officers, because I got a bird's eye view from upstairs. And like I said, I was like, oh my God, what is going on here?
Details of the murder investigation in New York have yet to be revealed. But the Attorney General says it's not uncommon for the NYPD to assist in cases in New Jersey.
We know crime doesn't stop at the Hudson River, and we work tirelessly every day across state lines to ensure that this region stays safe.
Police did leave the scene earlier today, the hotel behind us here, though many that we have spoken with were seemingly unaware of this shootout that happened in the parking lot area behind where we're standing. At this point, the Attorney General's office has not yet revealed how many shots were fired. For now, we're live in Woodbridge. I'm Adam Harding, News 4, New York.
Where a shootout between police and a burglary suspect has ended with a wounded officer and an arrest. It happened late yesterday afternoon in a neighborhood on the south side of the city. Police say they looked into a burglary call and spotted myint climbing out the rear window of a house. Officers say he fired, they fired back. Investigators say shots hit myint and an officer and that the injuries to both are not life-threatening. myint faces several preliminary charges, including attempted murder and possession of a machine gun.
County deputies in the hospital after an accidental shooting at the department's firing range that happened this morning.
That's right. DC News Now's Randy Bass following the story for us from Leesburg this afternoon. Randy, how are you?
Yeah, Tosin, Mark, good afternoon to you both. We've just got new details here in the last hour or so. Deputies telling us at least 2 sheriff's deputies were involved in that shooting this morning. It all happened during a training exercise when one of them was shot. It happened just before 8:30 this morning. The deputy who was injured was taken to a hospital and is now out of surgery and stable, recovering at that hospital. Again, authorities offering very few details at this point, but emphasizing that this was an accidental shooting. It's not clear how long the deputies have been with the department. The office has not released their names. Also not clear what kind of training exercise was going on this morning. This is the sheriff's office firing range, so not entirely uncommon for officers to be training here with loaded firearms. Sheriff Mike Chapman issuing a statement on that shooting saying, quote, "We have many safety protocols in place to prevent injuries during training, and we will conduct a thorough investigation into the circumstances of this incident. In the meantime, I want to express that our thoughts and prayers are with both deputies and their loved ones." Again, not much else to share here at this point, just recapping the sheriff's office here in Loudoun County saying 2 deputies were involved in a training exercise this morning when one of those deputies was shot and injured. Again, the sheriff's office still in the very early hours of the investigation here in Leesburg. Live in Leesburg, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now. Back